Hello friends, and welcome back to the Accent Designer. So today I wanted to share with you my thoughts about potential and expected features and advancements in Figma. Ever since the Adobe Figma acquisition happened, and I've been thinking about some features or perhaps the expected outcome of this collaboration or acquisition. But in today's video, I gathered the things that really made a lot of sense to me and wanted to share with you. Before we start, I just want to make it clear that this video is not sponsored by either Adobe or Figma. These are just my thoughts. So without any further ado, let's get into it. So the first feature I've been thinking about is deep search. And what I mean by that, when you go to Figma and start searching for something, the best you can get is searching by file name or project name, which is fine. But what if you're trying to search for more granular details and UI elements and vectors, texts within those files? It becomes really complicated, especially if you're working for a company. It becomes like really tedious going through all the files to cherry pick the things you're looking for. Or if you're looking for something like widgets, plugins, and UI templates, you go to the community tab and start searching. What I think would be very cool is to search for something that is very, very granular and hidden in your files. If you want to search for all the images that contain dogs or puppies or cats or food or whatever, you can write that up in the search fields, and Figma can support this level of searching and prompt all the elements and all the assets that include or match the search criteria. Actually, that will be really, really helpful and just save us a lot of time. Is Adobe Sensei. For those who don't know Adobe Sensei, it's pretty much the main foundation that supports everything AI related in Adobe products. Think about content fill or content awareness in Adobe Photoshop, remixing content and changing the color and hue of the background in your images. And I can see why including a feature like that in Figma, which is mainly built for product design, makes a lot of sense. Oftentimes, us designers come across the tedious, small, nitty-gritty details that we run into on a daily basis. Having features like that to support our workflow would make everything much easier. Now, speaking of AI and Sensei, one of the things I really imagine being included in Figma in the short term is smart text and content fulfillment. As of now, what you can get in Figma, if you wrote something and like that is misspelled or something, you get these like red markers that indicate that something is being misspelled. But what I imagine, or what could be very, very cool in the future, instead of relying on external plugins, is having smart suggestions. So you're not only getting corrections for misspelled words, no, you're actually getting smarter content and copy suggestions from Figma. That would be really cool if you're not a content designer or a copywriter who spend the majority of their time working in copy and phrasing and want to get accurate mockups that are as close as possible to reality. Another feature that I believe will be very, very cool is heat maps. So heat maps is just like one of the popular features that people rely on to track and examine how people interact with their digital products and see the most active hidden targets on the screen. For now, in Figma, I haven't seen, maybe I don't know if it exists already. You guys let me know in the comments. But as of now, I haven't found like a really smart feature. It shows you where the customers or the users are more likely to interact with the screen. But what you can get now is just like a very, very simple emulation of what heat maps look like. So if you want to create a design and just share it with the stakeholders or something, you can just create these like I'm doing here on the screen. I'm actually creating these like heat map markers. So having something like that that really understands design based on a definitive input you make, and you write some descriptive text of what you want the heat map to showcase, that will be very helpful. Although not completely reliable, because you still have to conduct proper research and proper testing to examine your concepts. But as a start, I guess that would be very, very helpful to share with other people and build up some sort of hypothesis. And the final feature that I believe will be very cool to have in Figma is basically just descriptive text, very similar to ChatGPT and Midjourney. And what happens is those platforms generate UI designs based on your inputs. So imagine having a feature like that in Figma, even if it's just like a rough draft or something that is very, very primitive and just not well developed. I guess when it comes to working with different groups of stakeholders like developers, content designers, copywriters, marketing, make design accessible by everyone so everyone can actually visualize all the initiatives that they're trying to advocate for. I guess having a tool like that under their disposal will be very, very helpful and save us a lot of time getting into those debates and back and forth. So a very good use case for it on FigJam, I imagine, if somebody just like copied and pasted a rough screenshot from their iPad or even their like journal, and FigJam had the tools and necessary AI to translate this into some visuals, it's just gonna make everything easier to communicate. And no, I don't honestly believe it's gonna replace any like actual designer, because it's not gonna be as smart or trained or experienced as real designers. But having something like this is gonna be extremely helpful for the non-designers, so to speak. And hopefully in the short term, in 2023 or 2024, we see any of them come to life. I hope you enjoyed this video, and yeah, thank you very much for tuning in, and see you next time.